everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Minotaur, a tier 10 British cruiser. I'm on a map hotspot, 4-point domination game. It's a tier 10 game with a few tier 8s in there. And unfortunately there is a carrier, but thankfully there is no sub. So at least that's something, right? Now I've come here to the 9-10 line. I was detected, so I smoked up, and it was detected by this kid, which got detected in turn, and I got a little bit of damage into it, but not much, unfortunately. Now I need to dodge some fishies coming my way, and I think I got this. I mean, you know, Minotaur does have some pretty good acceleration once it's managed to come to a standstill. If you're going from reverse into forward, it takes ages. But I'm fine. Now, Kit is not the best torpedo boat, so that's all the fish that I have to be worried about for now. Speaking of things to be worried about, well, there are planes, and of course they hit me in my smoke screen, but not for too much for now. Meanwhile, we have lost our destroyer at the decap, probably hydroed by said sand. I'm afraid our destroyer went in a little bit too far and had no exit strategy, and he got caught, which is a bit of a shame. So what do we do from here on? There might be a Vladivostok somewhere around here, but we can't see it, and there's a high likelihood that it wouldn't be in gun range anyway. The Ohio, not sure if it's gonna come this way. Most likely I just have to actually take a look at the decap. Maybe, well, I mean, capping it myself would be a bit risky. There's a Nevsky somewhere. Speaking of risky stuff, we have a Jaeger inside the enemy decap, and that Jaeger took out the enemy carrier. Well, that's good news, I guess. It's very good news. So, I mean, that the downside is that this destroyer would have been very useful at A, but you know, taking out the carrier this early in the game is going to be very powerful in the long run. And it also might mean that our Jaeger gets away with it. Well, there's a Nevsky coming. Jaeger doesn't really have smoke. And if the carrier keeps him spotted, then those ships can farm him, I guess. Yeah, the Nevsky is close enough. This Jaeger is probably dead. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out just how aggressive I can be. We are now down 3 destroyers. That's bad. Wait, we've lost that one here. We've lost it. Where did we lose our third? Oh, was it inside A? Well, anyway, the Nevsky has left, which means I'm just gonna go in here and camp now. Of course, technically the enemy set could come in here and hydro me, I guess. And if it stays safe behind an island, this might work. Now the thing is, our Jaeger has pulled a lot of enemies out of position. So I think I'm gonna be fine here. And I just really like an objective. I do have my smoke here, and Apiev is pointing curiously, so I presume there is somebody coming in from here. But I do have a friend with radar, and turns out that set didn't think that one through. Now, it does have hydro, and it means it's going to spot us. Now it comes down to what the Ohio and the Vladivostok do to us and how fast we can actually sink this. My side is not very well protected right now, but the set is going down very rapidly, and once it's dead, I will no longer be visible. So I have been smacked a little bit, but I'm back in the concealment. I have a little bit of island cover that protected me from a few of those shares. There we go. Now I'm going to launch some torps towards that kit that may or may not still be in that smoke screen. And meanwhile there is a little bit of discussion there. So basically our carrier is insulting our Jäger because our Jäger just YOLO'd in. But our Jäger did get the carrier. And it's hard to say how... Well, honestly, we traded a tier 9 DT against the carrier. I would say that's a good trade overall, personally. The only issue is that we have lost a lot of other destroyers. Like, we had 4 destroyers at the start. If we hadn't lost so many DDs, it would have probably been a good trade. Still, like, getting... Like, we don't know how good the enemy carrier was. But carriers are the most powerful class now. Oh, wait. So the kid said all this time in the smoke. Okay, anyway, I was saying, yeah, carriers are so powerful that taking care of this carrier was probably a good choice regardless. So, this game is still a relatively close one. We are 1 ship behind. We do have 1 more camp. The enemy is closing in here. The thing is that Nevsky is coming back. I do have a smoke ready, but of course that does nothing if that Nevsky comes around. I'm just randomly launching torpedoes here. That Nevsky could like charge in here through this gap. Those ships could come in here in some way. We'll see. The problem is all of those islands are blocking torpedoes, which means while I do have quite a few fishies, it will be hard to actually land a hit with them. Also, we might run into spotting issues because of those islands. Now we have Viper here, but obviously Viper can't see through islands. And, well, I'm gonna be inside a smoke screen. My friend here is going to be either in my smoke screen or behind an island. Now, this is where the Nevsky appears. And... Ooh, that Nevsky is red. Nevsky is turning away. If that Nevsky would be charging in here with radar, we would probably be screwed. Because Nevsky radar lasts quite a while and we are getting pushed by battleships, but the Nevsky is basically leaving radar. Oh, it's radaring me now. But it's almost out of radar range, so that's fine. See, I'm no longer radared. Unfortunately, I've already accelerated a little bit too much. So, well, maybe we'll use this to make a turn and get some fish off. I should be in concealment soon enough again because of the smoke. Or... at least I think so. There we go. And I got my fishes off. Now, I'm not sure if this Ohio is gonna come around here, but if it will, it's gonna find a very fishy area. We do have the Montana coming in here to help. Very healthy Montana. Oh, the Ohio did come around, but too fast or too soon. What do we want to say now? Now, this is where shooting here is a bit risky, but I've decided that our Montana needs the help. I mean, our Montana has just thrown away all of its health to show full broadside to the Ohio for no reason. I guess we now know why this was a full health Montana until now. It's just not a very experienced Montana. Anyway. So the Ohio is currently not looking at me. That's good news. Well, I mean, between myself and my friend in the booster, we are just offering 2 very tasty targets, and my friend is on lower health, so maybe that's what's attracting the Montana, the Ohio. Well, there goes the Ohio. I get only slightly touched in return, and look at that, my RPF is suddenly pointing towards the map border. Now, what does this tell us? This tells us that the enemy Jäger has spent the last 5 minutes probably going along the J line doing nothing, which is good news for us. And I am going to point this out for our carrier. Our carrier is very good at blaming others in chat and insulting people. Let's see if it's also good at defending itself. Now I'm going to Hydro because obviously the Jäger is going to torpedo me. The Vladivostok and the Vermont are not that close, but are most certainly inside their gun range. There's also the Nevsky. I don't think that the Nevsky guns at this range will be that problematic, but we'll see. Now I found some fishes, and our carrier is actually reacting to me telling him that there is a Jäger, so that's good news. Those fishes are fast, that's bad news. Maybe I could have made that gap if I'd sailed a bit better, but I didn't. So I ate a fish. It's fine, Jägerfish doesn't hurt that much. It does reload very quickly though, so if we don't sink it fast, I'll potentially be in trouble. There is also... I mean, I'm not sure if that Vermont is taking an interest in me or not. Well, currently it's not aiming at me, but that Vermont would be an issue. Meanwhile, the Jäger is not gonna escape here. Thing is, right, a Jäger doesn't really have a smoke screen, and it obviously didn't have any help, and it's not gonna shoot down any planes by itself. So, if the Jäger would have been with its other forces, we couldn't have farmed it that easily. It could have also, like, contested caps and such, it could have spotted, it could have torpedoed us. But the Jäger decided to waste probably like 5 minutes or so just going along the map border, and then once it was caught, it was dead, because it had absolutely no follow-up plan other than get lucky. Good for us. Meanwhile... well, that didn't hurt too much. I'm not gonna get good hits into that Nevsky, I'm afraid, because, well, I'm a Minotaur, it's maneuvering, it's sailing away. Maybe I'm gonna get some hits into the Vermont if it gets spotted soon. The Nevsky is once again just running away from me, which makes this very easy, because, you know, if that Nevsky was coming this way with a radar, and... well, let's just say that Vermont would probably smack the crap out of me. So far, you know, every time I sort of smoked up and was in a risky situation, that Nevsky was like, nope. Like, if that Nevsky had at least once tried to make a radar push, I'd have died a long time ago. And I could still die if it decided to do that. But it just always decides to not engage the smoke. Oh well. Leaves me a lot of time to farm this Vermont. Meanwhile, Viper is just on a merry-go-round trip and getting all the caps. We do have a nice lead by now. It's not necessarily won just yet, but it's very likely won, right? We have the objectives, the points, the caps. Of course, that Vermont could smack me if it could ever see me, but the only way it could see me is if that Nevsky actually decides to remember it has radar. And... oh, this was so close. Oh, I think this Vermont needs new pants now. Oh well. Now that Nevsky is taking objectives, the problem with this tactic is, well, Viper is also taking objectives, so we are just trading and we have the lead, so the Vermont, the Nevsky can't win by doing just that. Meanwhile, my division mate is there to engage it. Which is not necessarily needed, but you know, I mean, the Nevsky isn't that healthy anymore, so he might have this. I could try to provide some fire support soon. The Nevsky is getting into range, and my smoke is getting ready, right? This is my last smoke. But hey, there is only 3 minutes left anyway, the Vermont is leaving. The Vermont could be pushing my carrier here. So I just needed to not do that, I guess. And I have succeeded in pushing it away. Nevsky is... yeah, my friend got this. We even got the coordinated attack. Okay, so the Vermont might be trying to come this way again. I mean, I understand why this Vermont is hesitant, right? There is a smokescreen that's farming it with very fishy waters. But I'm not sure what its plan is, right? I mean, it has to come this way. I'm this way. The carrier is this way. It should know the carrier is this way because I'm pretty sure the Jaeger spotted our Hornet at some point earlier. And this is where the planes are coming from. So... the Vermont just needs to be like nosing and come this way. I mean, it's not a very fast ship, but eventually, like my smoke is running out. I need to retreat. The Hornet would need to retreat. Like... yeah, there is just absolutely no reason behind what the Vermont is doing. It's... I mean, let's be honest. At this point in the game, it can't really win anymore anyway. But if it had pushed earlier, who knows? It was the only chance it had. Especially, like, it could have helped its Nevsky. But then again, you know, the Jaeger could have helped the team, and it didn't. The Nevsky could have done a radar push and won them the game, and it didn't. And the Vermont just uselessly sailed down here, and every time it got close enough to potentially do something, it turned away again. And you know what it's getting for its trouble? Viper's fish. Now, I won't get a Kraken, but hey, Viper gets himself a Vermont. Well, interesting game. Could have gone wrong at many times, but it didn't. And very lovely win there, I suppose. Got a lot of experience out of it. And a lot of thanks goes to the enemy team for letting me get away with it. I have to say, while our carrier just liked to insult a lot of people, it also did reasonably well. And it reacted when I pointed out that there was a destroyer coming for it. And that's already better than most carriers out there. So there is that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.